You can feel it, can't you? That strange heaviness in the air, that quiet stirring in your spirit that whispers something has shifted, but you can't quite explain what. It's as if the atmosphere around your life has changed without warning, as if heaven has released a truth that your soul hasn't caught up to yet. You've been feeling watched, but not in a threatening way, in a divine way. There's been a presence around you, a spiritual awareness following your every move, not from strangers, but from those who share your blood. Someone in your family has seen something, and they don't even know how to put it into words. They can't explain the dream that woke them in the middle of the night, the vision that flashed across their mind, the sudden realization that hit them as they were thinking about you. They don't understand why their hearts softened toward you after years of coldness, or why your name keeps echoing in their thoughts. But heaven knows, because God just revealed your true purpose to someone in your family. It's not gossip, not rumor, not human curiosity. This is divine revelation, the kind that shakes spiritual atmospheres and exposes truths long hidden under layers of misunderstanding and pain. You see, God has a way of making those who once ignored you suddenly aware of the anointing they tried to deny. He has a way of taking what was once buried and bringing it to light, not to humiliate anyone, but to fulfill prophecy. And right now, that prophecy is unfolding through you. You were never meant to fit comfortably within your family. You were meant to stretch the spiritual DNA of your bloodline. You were the one who carried something ancient and holy, something heaven planted deep before you were even born. That's why you always felt like the outsider, the misunderstood one, the one whose silence was misread as pride, whose boundaries were labeled rebellion, whose faith was mocked because it made others uncomfortable. They couldn't understand the isolation you carried because they weren't meant to. You were not just being kept away, you were being hidden. God was concealing you in plain sight, shaping you quietly while everyone else thought you were just lost, distracted, or strange. You didn't know that your isolation was actually preservation, that every misunderstanding was a layer of protection wrapped around a calling that could only mature in obscurity. It's painful, isn't it, to walk through rooms filled with people who share your blood and still feel like a stranger among them, to tell your dreams and watch them dismissed with polite smiles or sarcastic laughter, to pour your heart out in love only to be met with suspicion, competition, or apathy. But through every wound, heaven was writing a story, one where rejection became refinement and silence became sacred training. For years, you've been praying, asking God why He allowed you to be misunderstood by those you loved most. Why your heart had to break in places that were supposed to feel safe. Why the people who should have celebrated you instead questioned everything about you. The answer is now unfolding, because they couldn't be allowed to shape what they didn't yet understand. God had to guard your identity until the right moment, until the revelation would no longer destroy them, but deliver them. And that moment has come. Someone in your family, perhaps one of the very ones who once overlooked you, has been shown the truth. They've seen your purpose, your light, your divine assignment. They may not yet know how to express it, but their spirit knows. They see something on you now that wasn't visible before. It's like they're remembering every time you chose forgiveness over revenge, every time you stayed silent when you could have fought back, every time you loved them, even when they mocked your faith. Heaven has turned their eyes towards you, not to glorify you, but to awaken them. Because your story was never just about you, it was about the redemption of your entire family line. This revelation is shaking the spiritual structure of your bloodline. The same voices that once silenced you are now being silenced by conviction. The same eyes that once rolled at your faith are now seeing with sudden clarity. It's a quiet revolution, no arguments, no confrontations, just divine awareness descending like morning light after a long storm. You might not even know it's happening yet. You might be sitting in your room, feeling that strange pull in your chest, wondering why your spirit feels heavier, why old memories of your family keep surfacing. It's because the revelation has started to travel through the invisible web that connects every soul bound by blood. God is revealing to them what He hid in you. He's showing them that the one they thought was weak is the one He's been strengthening in secret. The one they thought was strange is the one He's been sanctifying for purpose. The one they pushed aside is the very one carrying the oil for the family's next season. This is the divine pattern. He hides before He reveals. He separates before He sends. He breaks before He blesses. You were in the breaking season, but now you're stepping into the revealing season. You'll notice it in small ways at first. An unexpected message, a softened tone, a long pause where there used to be anger. And though your heart may tremble at the thought of reconnecting, don't be afraid. This isn't about returning to the past. It's about fulfilling destiny. The distance that once hurt you was heaven's design. The loneliness that crushed you was God's classroom. Every tear you cried was a prayer that built an altar in the unseen realm. And now those prayers are speaking. They're calling forth recognition, restoration, revelation. You're not being exposed, you're being revealed. There's a difference. Exposure humiliates, but revelation redeems. God doesn't expose His chosen ones. He unveils them when the world is finally ready to see. And now, someone in your family is finally ready. Ready to see who you are, what you carry, and why you were chosen. They'll see it not through words, but through the quiet authority that follows you, the peace that fills rooms when you enter, the shift in atmosphere when you speak. Your purpose is no longer hidden behind misunderstanding. The light has begun to leak through the cracks of time, and heaven has whispered your name into their spirit. This is the beginning of divine recognition, the moment when heaven's timeline catches up with your earthly story. You may still feel invisible, but I promise you, you're being watched through heaven's lens. The same God who hid you is now revealing you, and He's starting within your family because that's where the healing must begin. You've started to sense it now, haven't you? That almost imperceptible stirring in the atmosphere around you. Something feels lighter but heavier all at once, like the air itself is holding a secret it can't quite keep. You feel their eyes on you, not with the same judgment as before, but with curiosity, even a strange sort of reverence. They're watching your calm, your composure, the way you move through storms without breaking, and something inside them knows this isn't normal, it's divine. The same family members who once whispered about your silence now find themselves thinking about the peace that surrounds you. They remember every time you walked away from an argument, not in defeat, but in quiet power. Every time you chose forgiveness when bitterness would have been easier. They used to mistake your restraint for weakness, but now something in their spirit is telling them it was strength all along. You see, God has a way of flipping perception. He takes what was misunderstood and makes it magnetic. That's what's happening right now. Your family is being drawn not to your personality, but to the presence of God that has always walked with you. You were hidden in plain sight, and now heaven has started peeling back the veil. The revelation didn't come through human reasoning. It came through divine conviction. Someone in your family has been having dreams they can't shake, thoughts they can't explain. They've seen glimpses of you standing in light, or they've suddenly felt tears come to their eyes when your name crosses their mind. They can't understand it, but that's because it's not meant to be understood with the mind. It's a matter of the spirit. The same God who once whispered to you in your wilderness is now whispering about you to them, because God doesn't reveal purpose in isolation. He reveals it in connection. And this revelation is not about elevating you above your family. It's about awakening them through you. You were the vessel chosen to carry light into the darkness that lingered in. Your bloodline, that's why the warfare was so intense. That's why the rejection came from those who were supposed to love you most. The enemy knew that if your family ever truly saw who you were, his grip on generations would break. And that's exactly what's happening now. This revelation is a declaration of spiritual war being won. You are the living evidence that God's favor runs deeper than human opinion. The same voices that spoke curses are now being quieted by conviction. The same hearts that resisted are now softening without even knowing why. It's divine justice without vengeance, divine order without confrontation. You don't have to say a word. Your presence is preaching louder than any sermon ever could. You've been walking in integrity, even when no one was watching, and heaven has made sure your consistency became your testimony. They may not apologize outright. They may never find the words, but you'll see it in their eyes when they look at you differently, in their tone when they speak your name, in the small, hesitant gestures of reconciliation. That's how God works. He heals subtly before he restores publicly. Think of Joseph. His own brothers sold him, betrayed him, erased him from their story. But when God revealed Joseph's true purpose, they couldn't deny what heaven had done. They had to bow, not to Joseph as a man, but to the purpose God had placed upon his life. You are walking into your Joseph moment. The pit didn't destroy you. The silence didn't break you. The rejection didn't erase you. It refined you, shaped you, purified you until you became unrecognizable to those who once tried to define you. And now, when they look at you, they won't see the version they rejected. They'll see the vessel God anointed. But I know, part of you doesn't know how to receive this. There's hesitation in your spirit because the wounds are still tender. You've built walls around your heart, and for good reason. You've learned that love from family can cut the deepest when it turns cold. So even now, as God begins to turn their hearts toward you, you're afraid to believe it. You don't want to hope again just to be hurt again. But listen, this time, it's not manipulation, it's revelation. This isn't them deciding to see you differently, it's God making them see you differently. He's shifting their spiritual perception because He's ready to shift your family's generational destiny. You're not just being revealed, you're being positioned. And sometimes revelation comes before reconciliation. Not every heart is ready to handle what it sees, but even those who don't fully understand yet are being prepared. The atmosphere around your family is changing. Conversations are quieter, tensions are dissolving. Some are fighting conviction, others are surrendering to it. But the seed has been planted, and it all began with the hidden one, you. You were the quiet revolution heaven started in the middle of a family that thought nothing could change. While they were arguing, you were praying. While they were holding grudges, you were forgiving. While they were seeking control, you were surrendering. Every unseen act of obedience built a spiritual case for this very moment. And now, God is cashing in the prayers you sowed in tears. He's turning every insult into evidence, every heartbreak into holy ground. They thought they buried you, but they didn't know you were a seed. And now, the soil that once suffocated you is testifying to your resurrection. They can feel it, the shift. They may not say your name out loud yet, but your presence has become a mirror to their soul. When they see you, they see conviction. When they hear your story, they hear truth. When they remember your silence, they remember strength. The Spirit of God is using you as a living message, and though it might feel overwhelming, it's all a part of divine timing. There's a sacred balance between being revealed and being ready, and God has waited until your heart could handle recognition without pride. You've been humbled, broken, tested, and refined, and now you can carry revelation without needing validation. That's the secret. He couldn't reveal you before because he knew your heart wasn't healed enough to hold the attention that revelation brings. But now you've healed in silence, you've forgiven in secret, and you've outgrown the version of yourself that once needed to be understood. Now you simply exist in truth. And that truth is starting to echo through your family like a distant thunder before a cleansing rain. It's not chaos this time, it's clarity. It's not pain, it's prophecy being fulfilled. Someone has seen it, and more will follow. You don't need to make an announcement. Heaven already has. What you're feeling right now, the strange combination of peace and heaviness, is the weight of recognition being placed upon your shoulders. God trusts you with visibility because he knows you'll still give him the glory. You'll still stay humble, still stay kind, still stay rooted. Because you've learned that being chosen isn't about being elevated above others. It's about being anchored in purpose even when others don't understand it. This revelation isn't about proving who you are. It's about God proving that his hand was always on you. You are the answer to generations of prayers, even the ones your ancestors never knew how to pray. And now, through you, the family that once rejected the light is beginning to walk toward it. This is just the beginning of what heaven is unfolding through your bloodline, and though it started quietly, it will end gloriously. The story that began in silence will end in restoration. You've been hidden long enough. Heaven has started to speak your name aloud. You have been misunderstood for so long that you started to question whether you were the problem, whether your silence made you invisible, whether your gentleness was your weakness. But I need you to hear me clearly now. What they called weakness was protection, what they called distance was divine positioning, and what they called isolation was sacred refinement. You were never meant to compete with the noise of your family. You were meant to listen for the whisper of my spirit when no one else could hear it. Every moment you felt unwanted, I was teaching you the difference between being wanted by people and being chosen by me. You began to see that not everyone who shares your blood shares your destiny. Some of them love you, but they cannot understand you. Some of them care, but they cannot walk with you. Some of them admire your strength, but are secretly threatened by the favor I placed upon you. And it hurt, didn't it, to look into familiar faces and feel like a stranger, to show up at family gatherings and feel your spirit ache while everyone else laughed. You couldn't explain it, but your soul knew you didn't belong where you once fit. You have tried to dim yourself so they would not feel small next to you. You have tried to silence your light so they would not feel exposed by your truth. And yet the more you tried to blend in, the louder heaven kept calling you out. You began to notice the subtle signs, their sudden coldness when you spoke about your dreams, the uncomfortable silence when you mentioned faith, the way some of them changed the subject when you talked about purpose. It wasn't hatred, it was conviction. The same spirit that elevates you agitates what is stagnant around you. The same fire that warms your heart reveals the frost in theirs. You were sent into that family not to be approved, but to awaken. You were the one carrying a torch into generations of spiritual sleep, and every torchbearer must first walk through the night alone. And now, child, this is the season where the revelation I whispered in private will begin to echo through familiar halls. The one in your family who once ignored your faith, the one who mocked your prayers, the one who laughed when you said God spoke to you, they are beginning to see glimpses of what I promised. Because when my word hovers over a life, even unbelievers sense its weight. There are family members who cannot explain why they dream about you, why they suddenly feel drawn to you again, why your name stirs something deep in their conscience. I am working beneath the surface. I am revealing your true purpose to the very ones who doubted it. But understand, this revelation is not given to embarrass them. It is given to awaken them. I am showing them who you are so that they may see who I am. This is not about your ego. It is about my plan. Your anointing will serve as their invitation. They will remember the words you spoke, the prayers you prayed, the warnings they dismissed, and slowly they will begin to realize that the silence of the one they overlooked was actually the voice of the one they ignored. That realization will pierce them, not to destroy, but to deliver. Some of them will be humbled, others convicted, and a few will be called into repentance. You will not need to speak. Your life will speak louder than any sermon. I know you fear being misunderstood again, but this time you will not be the one explaining yourself. I will do the explaining. I will move through dreams, through moments of stillness, through strange coincidences that are not coincidences at all. I will align circumstances so they see that every pain you endured had divine intention. Remember Joseph. His brothers sold him, but when famine struck, it was the brother they betrayed who carried their redemption. So too will your story unfold. You were thrown into pits of rejection so you could learn compassion. You were sold into loneliness so you could discover power. You were forgotten so that I could prepare a throne unseen by others. And now that the appointed time draws near, the dream that once made your family uncomfortable will become their doorway to salvation. But do not rush this moment. Do not gloat or resent. Be still and watch. Because when I reveal your true purpose to your family, it will not look like revenge. It will look like restoration. Even now I am softening hearts that once mocked you. Some of them are quietly questioning the things they used to dismiss. Some have begun praying without telling anyone. Some have whispered my name in their secret. Despair. You do not need to know the details. You only need to keep your heart clean. When they return, meet them not with pride, but with grace. The revelation of your purpose is meant to heal old wounds, not reopen them. You are my vessel of reconciliation, a bridge, not a barrier. When they see what I have done in your life, it will convict them more deeply than any argument ever could. The one who tried to silence you will suddenly listen. The one who doubted you will begin to ask questions. And in that moment, my glory will fill the space between you, the space once occupied by misunderstanding and hurt. I know you still carry pain from words that were spoken, from moments when you cried in secret after trying to be strong. But this next chapter requires a lighter heart. Forgiveness is not for their comfort. It is for your freedom. Because the weight you release will make room for the promise that is coming. When I reveal your purpose to your family, I do not want bitterness to taint the beauty of the unveiling. You will not need to remind anyone of what they did to you. I will handle that part. Your focus must be on embodying what I created you to be: humble, radiant, unstoppable. You will stand not as a victim of their misunderstanding, but as evidence of my mercy. When they see you, they will see redemption personified. There will be one moment, divinely timed, when the scales fall from their eyes. They will see that every delay was a part of design, that while they were laughing, I was lifting you, that while they were doubting, I was developing you, and when that revelation hits them, it will change something in the lineage forever. The generational pattern that kept your family bound in fear and confusion will begin to break. The curse of unbelief will lose its grip, because revelation does not come through argument. It comes through witness. And you, my chosen one, are the living witness. The revelation of your purpose is not about status or power. It is about legacy. It is about changing what your bloodline believes is possible with God. So as I move now, stay hidden in humility. Your vindication is not for show, it is for salvation. There will be tears, there will be reconciliation, and there will be moments of silent awe. They will ask, "How did you become this strong? How did you survive what destroyed others?" And you will answer not with pride, but with peace, "Because God never left me." That is the testimony I am building. Every moment of pain is being woven into that sentence. Every betrayal, every lonely night, every misunderstood prayer, they will all make sense when they see who you have become. And in that moment, they will not just see you, they will see me through you. And now the quiet before the storm begins to hum with divine energy. You feel it, don't you? That subtle stirring in your spirit that tells you something unseen is aligning. You cannot explain it, but you know something is shifting within your bloodline. Something sacred is waking up that has been dormant for generations. The spiritual weight you've carried for years, the loneliness, the rejection, the isolation, it was never meant to crush you. It was meant to prepare the atmosphere for revelation. There are moments where you still ache when you think about how they treated you, how your family's words still echo in the hollow spaces of your memory. You remember the laughter that wasn't kind, the moments you tried to share your heart and were met with blank stares or ridicule, the times your silence was mistaken for weakness. But child, I tell you, nothing was wasted. Not a single tear, not a single sleepless night, not a single moment where you felt unseen. Every ounce of pain was a seed, and now the harvest is ripening in front of your very eyes. What they planted in pain, I am raising in power. What they threw away, I am using as the foundation for their awakening. You were the one I trusted to hold the vision when everyone else turned away. You were the one I anointed to see what others could not. You wonder why I did not reveal your purpose to them sooner, why I allowed misunderstanding to fester, why I let them misjudge your silence. But if I had revealed you too early, they would have tried to shape what I was still forming. If they had known the full weight of your calling before it was time, they would have either tried to control it or destroy it. I had to keep you hidden until the structure of your spirit was strong enough to carry the weight of revelation. You were hidden not because you were unworthy, but because you were sacred. There is a divine difference between being rejected and being reserved. You were reserved for a moment of unveiling that could not be rushed. And now that the appointed hour draws near, I am peeling back the veil. The ones who thought you failed are about to see that you were simply being fortified. The ones who thought you disappeared are about to see that you were being developed in secret. They will stand in awe, not just of what I have done, but of how you remained pure through it all. There is a tension in the spirit now, a trembling that precedes transformation. Some in your family will resist what I am doing at first because revelation demands accountability. When truth is revealed, illusions shatter. But do not fear their discomfort. It is the sound of their chains breaking. When I reveal your purpose to them, it will confront the very things they have hidden behind: pride, denial, jealousy, fear. They will see that the one they dismissed was carrying the answer to their prayers. You will notice the shift begin quietly, i.e., text from someone you haven't heard from in months, a question about faith from someone who never believed, an apology wrapped in awkward words. Do not despise these small beginnings, for they are the ripples of the great wave that is coming. This is how reconciliation starts, not with thunder, but with whispers of conviction. There will be moments when you will be tempted to pull away again, to protect your peace from those who once wounded you. But hear me, beloved, this time is different. You are not returning to the same people. You are walking into a new assignment. I am sending you back, not as a wounded soul looking for validation, but as a vessel of light carrying revelation. When they see you, they will see stability where chaos once ruled. They will see peace where confusion used to linger. You will become the calm in the storm that once tore your family apart, That is how my power works. It turns the rejected into the redeemers, the wounded into the healers. You will be my evidence that grace can rewrite any story. And when that moment comes, when the veil fully lifts, you will stand in the same room that once echoed with judgment, but this time the atmosphere will be different. There will be reverence where mockery once lived. There will be tears where indifference used to reign. They will look at you and realize that the strength they see now was born in the silence they ignored. I will make them witnesses to the truth. That purpose never dies. It only matures in hiddenness. Your life will preach a sermon without words. They will see my fingerprints on every chapter they tried to erase. And as the revelation unfolds, something divine will awaken in their own hearts. Some of them will fall to their knees, not out of shame, but out of awe, because in seeing what I've done in you, they will remember who I am. But I must prepare you for the weight of this moment, because revelation carries responsibility. You cannot let old wounds dictate your new response. You cannot meet their repentance with pride or superiority. I am calling you to stand as Joseph did when his brothers came to Egypt. He did not remind them of their betrayal. He reminded them of my sovereignty. You meant it for evil, but God meant it for good. That is the posture I require of you. When they come, your response must be love clothed in wisdom, grace rooted in truth. Because this moment is not just about your vindication, it's about their salvation. You are not just being revealed. You are being positioned as the intercessor for your bloodline. You will stand between what was and what can be, carrying both the memory of pain and the promise of healing. Some of you will even have to forgive without hearing, "I'm sorry." You will have to extend grace to those who still cannot admit what they did. But that's what makes you chosen. The ability to bless those who never blessed you, to love those who never understood you, to keep your heart pure when others chose bitterness. Every time you choose mercy over revenge, heaven moves closer to earth. That is how you shift generational patterns, not through shouting, but through surrender. You are breaking cycles every time you choose peace. And soon, the one in your family who carries the same gift but has been running from it will recognize it in you. They will see in you what they have been trying to suppress in themselves. And that recognition will ignite their awakening. You are not the only one I am calling. You are the first. The revelation of your purpose will be the spark that lights the others. So prepare your heart, child. I am about to bring full circle what began in tears. You will soon find yourself face to face with the ones who misunderstood you, but instead of pain, you will feel compassion. Because revelation heals what explanation never could. They will see that you never abandoned them. You are being led by me to prepare the way for them. And when I bring you all together again, there will be no competition, no comparison, only clarity. You will finally understand that the family I gave you was not a mistake. It was a mission. Every misunderstanding, every wound, every separation was part of the divine choreography that led to this awakening. When I reveal your true purpose to them, it will not just change their view of you, it will change their view of me. They will see that I do not waste pain, that I turn every broken connection into a bridge for redemption. And as the light of revelation begins to spread through your family, you will feel a strange peace settle over you, the kind that doesn't come from being understood, but from understanding me. You will realize that everything you went through was necessary, not because I wanted you to suffer, but because I needed you to grow strong enough to carry this assignment. Your purpose was too sacred to be seen through the eyes of familiarity. That is why I blinded them to your calling until now. But now, I am opening their eyes, and I am restoring what was lost. The same voices that once doubted you will speak, blessings over you. The same hearts that once resisted you will embrace you, not because you forced them to, but because my spirit moved upon them. This is what divine revelation looks like: soft, powerful, undeniable. It does not need proof, it carries presence, and soon they will feel that presence when they stand near you. They will feel the same peace that sustained you through the fire. They will know that something beyond you lives within you. That is the moment when they will whisper quietly to themselves, "Now I see." There will come a moment, quieter than thunder, but more powerful than any storm, when you will feel the atmosphere shift around you. The ones who once looked past you will suddenly pause in your presence, sensing something they cannot describe. Their spirit will tremble even if their mind does not understand why, because what they are encountering is not your personality. It is my presence resting upon you. You will see it in their eyes, that flicker of recognition that comes when the veil between what is seen and unseen becomes thin. They will begin to remember the moments they ignored, the warnings they dismissed, the conversations where you tried to speak truth but were silenced by disbelief, and in that remembrance will come revelation. For the first time, they will realize that your distance was not arrogance, it was divine assignment. They will begin to feel the weight of the words you once spoke, words they shrugged off as over-spiritual or emotional, now echoing back into their own lives with undeniable truth. It will be as if your silence is suddenly speaking louder than ever before. And in that silence, I will move, because I am not revealing your purpose to them with noise or drama, but through the quiet authority of evidence. Evidence of peace where chaos once lived in you, evidence of joy that cannot be shaken, evidence of an unexplainable stability that radiates from your soul. You have become the living proof of my existence, and I am using you as a mirror for them to see themselves, what they could have been, what they still can become. You have walked through the fires they feared, and you came out not burnt, but refined. That is why I allowed the isolation to last so long. I was shaping you into something unbreakable, so that when revelation came, it would not just impress them, it would transform them. The same people who once rolled their eyes when you mentioned faith will now call you for prayer. The same ones who said you were lost in fantasy will ask you for wisdom. The shift will be so subtle yet so divine that you will know only I could have orchestrated it. But I must prepare you for the contradiction that revelation brings. Some of them will honor you while others will envy you. Some will draw near in repentance while others will retreat in conviction. Revelation always separates before it unites. You must not confuse resistance with failure. Even their discomfort is a sign that I am working. Do not let bitterness creep in. Do not let pride take root. You are stepping into a holy moment, one where I am using you to rewrite the emotional and spiritual DNA of your family. There have been generational patterns of jealousy, competition, comparison, resentment, and spiritual blindness, but I am breaking those through you. Every time you respond with grace where others once responded with anger, the pattern weakens. Every time you forgive without needing validation, the curse loses its hold. You are not fighting them, child. You are freeing them. They are not your enemies. They are captives of misunderstanding. I am not calling you to defend yourself anymore. I am calling you to reveal me through peace. There is one in your family who has been watching you in secret. They scroll through your words, your life, your transformation, pretending not to care, but their heart is stirring. They see your strength and wonder how you survived what they could not. They are beginning to realize that what sustained you is not luck or coincidence, it is grace. That hidden watcher is the one I have chosen to awaken first. I have revealed your true purpose to them, not through conversation, but through conviction. They will soon reach out, though they may not have the courage to say everything they feel. Their message might be short, awkward, even unclear, but their heart will be open. When that happens, Do not rush to explain everything. Simply listen. Let your presence be a ministry of peace, because through that one interaction, the ripple of revelation will begin to spread. I am starting with one, so I can reach them all. Do you remember when I told you that your family could not see you clearly because they were too familiar? That familiarity blinded them to the sacred. It is true still, but revelation breaks blindness. Once they begin to see you with spiritual eyes, they will understand that you were not trying to escape them. You were trying to obey me. They will recall moments when you pulled away, and they will realize it wasn't rejection, it was obedience. They will remember how you prayed for them even when they hurt you, and that memory will soften what pride once hardened. I am doing more than healing family bonds. I am restoring spiritual alignment. You were not separated to stay apart. You were separated to return transformed. That return will carry power. The same way Joseph returned to Egypt, not as a slave but as a savior, you will walk back into familiar places with divine authority. You will not need to announce it. They will feel it. There is a sacred irony in how I work. Those who once thought you were the weakest will see that you were the strongest. Those who dismissed your tears will realize they were intercessions that protected them from battles they never saw. They will begin to thank me for the prayers they once mocked, and you will witness that moment of awakening, not as a scene of triumph, but as a moment of tenderness. Because when true revelation comes, it humbles everyone it touches. They will not be impressed by your success, they will be moved by your spirit. That is what I have been building within you all this time, a spirit that carries light, not just words, truth, not just titles. And yet, I know there is still pain in you, deep pain that flares when you think of all the times they made you feel small. I have seen those silent tears you hide even now, the ones you don't let anyone see, because you think you should be over it. But pain does not vanish when you are chosen. It transforms into power when you surrender it. So, I ask you again, let me have it. Let me touch those memories, those nights of aching loneliness, those mornings where you woke up feeling forgotten. Because soon, when they come to you seeking understanding, I do not want you to speak from your wounds. I want you to speak from your healing. I am not revealing your purpose so that you can prove yourself right. I am revealing it so that you can become the bridge between who they were and who they are meant to be. You will see the moment of realization dawn in their faces. It may happen at a dinner table, during a random phone call, or in an unexpected moment of stillness. But when it does, time will seem to slow. You will feel my spirit wrap around you like warmth, and everything you carried for years will suddenly make sense. You will see how every delay, every tear, every misunderstanding was part of the divine equation. You will understand that I was never silent. I was strategic. I was shaping you while they were sleeping. And now, I am awakening them through the evidence of your transformation. The story that once made you cry will now make you grateful. You will realize that I didn't just save you from pain, I sanctified it. I turned what was meant to destroy you into the very instrument that delivers others. This next phase of revelation will require you to walk in radical humility. The same hands that once wounded you might reach out for help, and I will ask you to take them, not because they deserve it, but because mercy demands it. The anointing upon your life is not for isolation anymore. It is for impact. I did not train you in the wilderness so you could build walls. I trained you so you could build bridges. Your strength is not in proving your worth. It's in carrying peace into broken places. And that peace will become a weapon that dismantles generations of misunderstanding. The ones who called you too sensitive will now call you wise. The ones who thought you were lost will see that you were led. The ones who said you were different will realize you were chosen. And through it all, remember, do not let the honor distract you from the mission. Their recognition is not your reward. Revelation is. Their apology is not your closure. My purpose is. You were chosen not to be praised, but to be poured out. I am revealing your purpose so that you can reveal mine. Every eye that turns toward you must ultimately turn toward me. That is the true measure of calling. Not how many notice you, but how many find me through you. And soon they will. They will look at your peace and see a reflection of heaven. They will hear your voice and feel my compassion. They will watch your journey and realize that destiny is not born from comfort, but from surrender. You are walking into a season where every misunderstood chapter will become a prophecy fulfilled. And when they finally whisper, "Now I understand," you will know that everything was worth it. The night before revelation always feels the heaviest. You may feel the pressure building again, the strange weight in your chest, the old memories surfacing like whispers of pain you thought you had buried. That is not regression, child. It is release. The spirit feels the tremor before transformation. The reason you have been sensing such intensity lately is because something monumental is shifting within the spiritual realm of your family. The veil that once separated understanding from blindness is beginning to tear, and just like every birth, there is a moment of labor before the cry of new life. You have carried this promise for so long that it feels as though it has become a part of your bones. You have waited for years, praying quietly while others spoke loudly. You have stood in rooms where you felt invisible, but remained obedient to my call. You have walked through deserts of silence without letting bitterness consume you. And now, as the dawn of revelation approaches, I am about to turn the very pain that silenced you into a testimony that speaks louder than any voice in the room. There will come a morning where something simple shifts, perhaps a phone call, perhaps a message, perhaps an unexpected visit, and it will mark the beginning of the unveiling. You won't even realize it at first, because it won't come wrapped in fanfare or spectacle. It will feel natural, almost ordinary, yet you will sense my presence hovering over the moment. It could be your mother's softened tone, your siblings' apology, your father's question about faith, or your cousin's confession that they've been praying too. These small gestures will not be random. They will be signs that the revelation I promised is now unfolding. For years I kept you hidden because the soil was not ready, but now I have tilled the ground of their hearts. You see, revelation is not just about truth being shown, it's about hearts being ready to receive it. And finally, after all the storms, the hearts in your family are soft enough for my seeds of understanding to take root. But as I reveal your purpose to them, remember this: revelation is light, and light exposes. It does not only show who you are, it also reveals what must be healed in them. Some of them will weep, not because of guilt, but because they will suddenly realize how they mishandled what was holy. They will look at you and remember the words they threw like daggers, the laughter they used to hide their insecurity, the moments they dismissed your spiritual fire as fanaticism. And they will realize that what they mocked was the move of God. Do not use that moment to remind them of what they did. Use it to remind them of what I did. For my glory will not be revealed through humiliation, but through mercy. When they see your grace in the face of their regret, they will finally understand the heart of the one who sent you. I know it is not easy to think of embracing those who once hurt you. The wounds they left are real. They shaped you in ways no one else can see. But I promise you this: your healing will not come from distance, it will come from divine purpose. You were not sent into that family by mistake. You were the one chosen to interrupt generations of pain. Every family has its patterns, silent resentments, hidden envy, unspoken competition, love that feels conditional. And for years, you wondered why you seemed to feel everything deeper than everyone else, why the things that rolled off others' backs pierced your soul. It's because I gave you a different sensitivity, a spiritual perception not meant for self-pity, but for intercession. You were meant to see what others couldn't, so you could heal what others wouldn't. You are the emotional mirror of your bloodline, the one who feels not just your own pain, but the weight of generations. But this season marks the turning point. You will no longer just carry their pain, you will convert it. Every ache is transforming into authority, every scar into strength. As your purpose becomes visible, there will be a temptation to downplay it, to shrink so others won't feel small. But hear me, your humility does not require you to hide anymore. The same light that once made others uncomfortable is now the same light that will lead them out of darkness. You were never meant to fit in, you were meant to be found. And now, that the moment of finding has come, I want you to stand tall, not in pride, but in quiet assurance. You are not better than them, you are just ahead in timing. You responded to the call before they recognized it, and because of your yes, I'm now awakening theirs. This is how lineage transformation begins. One brave soul says yes, and heaven uses that single yes to shake generations awake. You were that yes. You were that crack in the wall through which the first light entered. Some of your family will resist at first, because revelation always exposes what has been comfortable in darkness. Do not let their initial discomfort discourage you. When they question your motives, when they second-guess your faith, when they mock what they do not understand, remember, it is not you they are reacting to, but the truth that confronts them. Continue to love. Continue to walk in quiet dignity. You do not have to prove what I have already revealed. My spirit will defend you in ways no words ever could. They will begin to see how everything they once used against you, your sensitivity, your solitude, your intensity, were all signs of divine calling. Slowly, their hearts will turn from criticism to curiosity, from jealousy to repentance. And when that happens, you will feel the weight lift. The heaviness that sat on your soul for years will break in an instant. You will cry, not because of pain this time, but because of peace. Peace that feels like home. Peace that tells you the cycle has ended. You will look at your family not with resentment, but with compassion. You will see their wounds and realize that most of what they projected onto you came from their own unhealed places. And when you see them through my eyes, you will realize that they were never your enemies. They were fragments of the same story I am redeeming. That revelation will soften even the hardest parts of your heart. You will no longer need them to understand you to love them. You will love them because you understand me. This is the part where everything begins to make divine sense. The years of silence, the unanswered prayers, the feeling of being invisible, it was all sacred setup. I was building your endurance, refining your faith, and strengthening your heart for this very assignment. You see, child, purpose is never just about destiny, it's about durability. If I had revealed your calling to your family when you were still seeking validation, their opinions would have shaken you. But now, you are anchored. You do not need their approval to love them, and that is what makes you ready. You are entering a new level of spiritual maturity, where offense no longer has power and peace becomes your response to everything. That is the mark of one who has been truly transformed. You will soon stand in rooms that once felt suffocating, and you will breathe freely. You will walk into conversations that used to trigger you, and you will smile with grace. You will embrace the ones who broke you and realize that they never had the power to define you. You will finally see yourself not through their eyes, but through mine. And that is the final layer of revelation, because as I reveal your purpose to them, I am also revealing it fully to you. You will realize that being chosen was never about separation alone. It was about transformation that leads to unification. I did not isolate you to make you distant. I isolated you to make you distinct. And through that distinction, I am bringing light into darkness, peace into chaos, and healing into history. So prepare your heart, my child, for the unveiling is near. The same faces that once wounded you will witness my glory upon you. They will know it was me all along. They will finally see that your silence was strength, your waiting was warfare, and your tears were prayers in disguise. They will know that what they thought was the end of you was actually the beginning of a divine movement. When they finally see you standing in the fullness of who I made you to be, they will not just see your rise, they will see my faithfulness. And in that moment, both your story and theirs will begin anew. Because this is not just revelation, it is restoration. This is the divine exchange of sorrow for purpose, rejection for recognition, loneliness for legacy. And when you feel the peace of that truth settle into your spirit, you will finally understand that every hidden season was worth it. When the revelation finally dawns, it does not arrive with thunder or lightning. It comes quietly, like the sun rising after a long night. You will wake up one morning and something will feel different in the air. The same walls that once echoed with silence will seem softer. The same people who once ignored your presence will begin to look at you with new eyes. It is not that they suddenly became holy, it is that my spirit has finally moved through the house. You will sense it before they say a word. There will be a gentleness that did not exist before, a humility that comes only when pride has been broken by grace. Do not rush to fill the silence. Let it breathe. Let me speak through it. The revelation is not only about them seeing you, it is about them seeing me through you. And the more still you are, the more they will feel the weight of my presence, flowing through your calm. In the beginning, they might approach you cautiously, unsure how to speak, unsure how to bridge the years of misunderstanding. You may hear their voices tremble as they attempt to say things they never could before. I didn't know you were going through so much, or I see now that you were trying to help us, or simply, I'm sorry. Every word will carry the echo of my redemption. Do not let the past poison the present moment. The apology you receive may not match the pain you endured, but it will still be sacred because it represents awakening. Forgive freely, not because they deserve it, but because you are no longer bound to the weight of what they did. The truth is, my child, forgiveness is not just release for them. It is liberation for you. It's the moment when the chain breaks and you realize you have been free all along. You will begin to notice how I use your life as a living mirror. Every time you show mercy, they will see a reflection of my heart. Every time you speak with patience, they will sense my tone in your voice. They will begin to understand that what made you different was never rebellion. It was revelation. That the fire they once mocked was not madness. It was my spirit refining you. And as their eyes open, you will realize that the purpose of your pain was not to destroy you, but to prepare you to carry light into their darkness. Because true revelation always transforms more than one person. It ripples through bloodlines, touching those who never even believed they could change. You will begin to feel the atmosphere in your home shift. Conversations that used to end in arguments will turn into prayers. Laughter will fill the rooms where tension once lived. The same table where judgment was served will become an altar of reconciliation. You will look around and realize that the peace you prayed for is not a dream, it is reality. Your home will become a place of healing, a sanctuary for broken hearts, a living testimony of what happens when one person dares to believe God can restore everything. And in that restoration, I will show you something deeper. Your calling was never just about endurance, it was about inheritance. You are the bridge between what was and what will be, the torchbearer of a new generation. But I must warn you, child, that even as the light grows, shadows will still try to whisper. Old memories may try to resurface. The enemy may attempt to plant seeds of doubt. What if they change back? What if this peace is temporary? Do not let fear rewrite the story I have already redeemed. The change you will see is not fragile, it is divine. What I have healed, no force can unheal. What I have begun in your family, no darkness can undo. You will stand as a witness of this truth. Every day you walk in peace, you will declare to the unseen realms that love has triumphed. Every act of forgiveness will be warfare. Every word of grace will be victory. You are not just surviving revelation, you are establishing legacy. And as this peace settles in, you will begin to feel a deeper stirring. For while your family's revelation is one part of the story, there is still a greater calling that awaits you beyond these walls. The world, too, is waiting for the light you carry. What you learned in hidden places was never meant to stay hidden. The compassion you developed through pain, the wisdom you gained through silence, the strength you forged in solitude, all of it is preparation for a larger stage. You were trained in obscurity so you could lead with purity. You will soon find yourself being drawn into new places, meeting people who carry similar stories of rejection and awakening. Your spirit will recognize theirs, and together you will begin to form what I call the circle of the restored. These are my chosen ones who have endured divine isolation only to emerge as beacons of truth and compassion. You are one of them. And when you meet them, you will understand that the loneliness of your journey was never punishment. It was preparation for divine partnership. Through you, I will heal not just individuals, but entire generations. Your story will become a language others can understand. When people hear your voice, they will feel seen. When they see your life, they will believe in second chances again. That is your ministry, authenticity born from suffering, love shaped by loss, faith tested by fire. You will speak not as a preacher of doctrine, but as a witness of my faithfulness, and that authenticity will pierce through walls that religion could never reach. For the chosen are not sent to repeat sermons, they are sent to embody them. You are not called to echo others, you are called to become evidence. Every part of your life will testify that I am still the God who restores what was lost. And yes, there will be moments where you feel the weight of that calling, because revelation always expands responsibility. You will need to stay grounded, to remember that what you carry is not yours, it's mine. Do not let praise distract you or success seduce you. Remain rooted in the stillness that birthed your strength. Continue to return to me in prayer, not because you need something, but because you understand that my presence is your home. I will continue to guide you, continue to speak to you, continue to refine you. For the journey of a chosen one does not end with recognition, it deepens with revelation. You will learn that purpose is not a destination, but a continual unveiling of my will through your life. You will also find that some who once mocked you will begin to seek your counsel. They will call you late at night, asking for prayer, for advice, for peace. Do not turn them away. This is the full circle of grace. You once prayed for them in secret, now you will lead them openly. It will feel surreal at times, as if you are living inside a promise you once only dreamed about. But that is the beauty of divine timing. It feels sudden to man, but it has been forming for years in heaven. And when you see those same faces that once caused you pain, now looking to you for guidance, do not gloat. Instead, smile softly, knowing that the same mercy that rescued you is now rescuing them through you. Your compassion will become contagious. Your peace will become their healing. You will see how I use your presence to break generational habits. Conversations will change, decisions will change, destinies will change. Where there was once division, there will be unity. Where there was pride, there will be humility. Where there was silence, there will be worship. And as all of this unfolds, you will stand in awe, not of yourself, but of me. You will whisper, "This is what it was all for." The long nights, the unanswered prayers, the tears, the waiting, it all makes sense in that moment, because revelation always leads to redemption, and redemption always leads to rejoicing. You will feel my joy moving through your home, through your words, through your laughter. You will begin to enjoy life again, not cautiously, not fearfully, but freely. Because when I restore, I do not restore partially. I give beauty for ashes, joy for mourning, praise for heaviness. You will dance again, not because everything is perfect, but because you finally understand that perfection was never the goal. Presence was. You will carry peace like armor, grace like fragrance, love like oxygen. And when people ask what changed, you will simply say, "I met God in my pain, and He turned it into purpose." And that, my child, will be your final revelation, not that I rescued you from them, but that I used them to refine you. Every wound was a doorway, every rejection a redirection, every silence an invitation. You were never forgotten. You were being written into a masterpiece that required time, pressure, and faith. And now, as the full picture begins to unfold, you will realize that what I promised you long ago was never delayed. It was in process. The revelation was never just about being seen. It was about being ready to be seen without losing who you are. And now you are ready. The next chapter is not about survival. It's about manifestation. The world will now witness what heaven has known all along, that you were chosen not to be famous, but to be faithful. And that faithfulness has made you unstoppable. And now, my child, as the dawn rises over the ashes of everything that once broke you, you will feel it. The deep, unshakable peace that comes only when divine purpose has fully revealed itself. The air will feel different. The silence will no longer sting. It will sing. The weight that pressed on your heart for years will lift like a mist touched by the sun. You will no longer feel the need to prove who you are or explain what I have done in your life. For revelation has done what words never could. It has shown your truth without you speaking. And as the world, including your family, begins to see you through new eyes, you will not crave recognition or validation anymore. You will smile quietly because you finally understand. Being chosen was never about being seen by them. It was always about being known by me. The storm that once terrified you was not punishment. It was prophecy being fulfilled. Everything that was stripped away was meant to expose the gold I placed within you. And now that it shines, you no longer need to fight for light because you have become it. This is the season of divine fullness, where what was spoken in secret is now seen in public. The words I whispered into your spirit during your darkest nights will now echo through the corridors of time, touching hearts you have never met. Those in your family who once laughed at your prayers will begin to pray because of your peace. They will study your strength, your quiet endurance, your ability to love after betrayal, and they will see me in all of it. Do you understand how powerful that is? You didn't just survive the test. You became the testimony. You are the living proof that faith does not fail, that pain does not have the final word, and that divine timing always arrives exactly when it is meant to. You have crossed through the wilderness, not empty, but filled with wisdom. You have endured exile, not forgotten, but refined. And now you carry authority, the kind that cannot be given by people, only by presence. The authority that comes from having faced the storm and found me in the middle of it. You will walk differently now, not with pride, but with purpose. There will be a stillness about you that unsettles darkness and comforts the broken. People will sense the oil upon you, the oil that only comes from crushing. They will feel peace in your presence without understanding why. You will speak few words, but each one will carry weight, because it comes from a place of truth. I have trained your tongue to speak life, your eyes to see beyond appearances, your heart to love beyond offense. You have become a vessel that reflects my nature. And this is why I hid you, why I separated you, why I allowed misunderstanding to surround you. Because revelation requires refinement. Had I revealed your purpose too early, they would have worshipped your gifts but missed your grace. Now they will see both, perfectly aligned. There will be a moment soon when your family will gather, not in chaos this time, but in harmony. You will sit among them, listening, watching, remembering all the years that led to this table. Some will cry, some will confess, and some will simply sit quietly, realizing how blind they once were. And as they speak, you will feel no resentment, only gratitude. Gratitude that I didn't let your heart turn bitter. Gratitude that I didn't allow their misunderstanding to destroy your compassion. Gratitude that even when you didn't understand, you still trusted me. That trust has now built a bridge that no human hand could have built. The very ones who once questioned your purpose will now honor it, not because you demanded it, but because revelation has done its work. The Spirit has spoken louder than any argument. And in that moment, when peace fills the room, you will know you have completed your assignment in this chapter. But my child, do not mistake completion for conclusion. This is not the end of your purpose. It is the beginning of a greater expression of it. The revelation to your family was necessary so that the chain of misunderstanding would be broken, but the world beyond still waits for the sound of your testimony. The same Spirit that spoke through you in silence will now speak through you in influence. I will begin to connect you to others who carry a similar fire, people who have walked through their own hidden seasons and are now stepping into their callings. Together, you will move as a network of light across dark places. You will minister not through titles or positions, but through presence and authenticity. Wherever you go, healing will follow. Wherever you speak, hearts will awaken. You are not just chosen for survival, you are chosen for impact. Your voice will travel further than your feet. The message I have placed in your heart will reach nations. You may not even understand how it happens. Doors will open, connections will form, opportunities will come seemingly out of nowhere. But know this, they are not random, they are alignment. Everything that once confused you will now make sense. Every delay was protection, every isolation was incubation, every loss was redirection. You will begin to see the fingerprints of my purpose in every memory. Even the most painful ones will shine with new meaning. You will say, if that hadn't happened, I wouldn't be here. And I will whisper, exactly. For my ways are not your ways, and my timing is not your timing, but my promises never fail. The revelation that your family received about you was only part of the prophecy. The deeper truth is this: I used them to show you that you were ready. You see, they were not the final test, they were the final confirmation. Their awakening to your purpose was the signal that the season of hiding has ended. The mantle you carry is no longer meant to be carried in silence. I am releasing you to walk boldly into every territory I have prepared. You will not have to force doors open. They will open because of who you are becoming. You will not have to explain your calling. It will be evident. You will not have to fight for space. You will create it. For where my light goes, darkness must move aside. You are my light bearer now, not just in your home, but in the world. And though the journey ahead will still have challenges, you will never again face them as you once did. You will not walk in confusion, but in clarity. You will not walk in fear, but in faith. You will not walk alone, but with me. For I have gone before you. I am beside you, and I am within you. The very spirit that sustained you in silence will now empower you in motion, and every step you take will echo with the sound of purpose fulfilled. There will be moments when you look back and weep, not out of pain, but out of awe, because you will finally see that I was weaving beauty out of chaos the entire time. Every tear, every prayer, every moment you thought I was absent, I was there, aligning everything perfectly for this revelation. Now, lift your eyes. Look beyond what was. Look into what is coming. The horizon is filled with promise, and it bears your name. Your purpose is not hidden anymore. It is unfolding. And as you walk forward, you will carry a peace that cannot be shaken, a love that cannot be measured, and a fire that cannot be extinguished. That is the mark of the chosen. Not that they are without scars, but that their scars tell stories of resurrection. You are not just a survivor. You are a sign that divine purpose always prevails, that light always overcomes darkness, that love always wins. You were not chosen because you were the strongest. You were chosen because you were willing. And that willingness has now become your crown. So stand tall, my child. The story that once brought you pain will now bring others healing. The home that once broke you will now bless others. The family that once misunderstood you will now testify of you. And the voice that once cried in the wilderness will now roar with power across generations. You have seen the valley. Now I will show you the mountaintop. You have walked through rejection. Now you will walk in redemption. You have carried the cross. Now you will carry the crown. The time of revelation is complete, and the season of manifestation has begun. Walk boldly, love deeply, and live freely, for this is the hour you were created for. You are the proof that what I promise, I perform. You are the evidence that what I begin, I finish. And as you step into the fullness of who you are, remember this eternal truth. You were never forgotten, never overlooked, never unworthy. You were always chosen, and now the world will see why.